Hey, everybody. Welcome to your November 16th Board of Education meeting, because if that's not what you're here for, you're in the wrong place. Glad to see you all this evening. Happy Thanksgiving. 1 week from tomorrow. It is the most glorious eating day of the year. Thank you. It is just wonderful. If you like eating, there are 2 holidays, I think, in the year. And most people say Christmas, but I go, obviously, Thanksgiving's one. Okay? Super Bowl is number 2. So,
Is that really a holiday?
yeah, for all football lovers. Are we good, everybody? Would you rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very, very, very much. We're out of closed session now in open session. I would entertain a motion on student discipline, please.
Make a motion that we uphold the findings of the board in student discipline case number 23-20-0104.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. May I have a roll call vote, please?
Yes.
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 Yes, motion passes 6-0. Thank you very much. That brings us to item number 4, the consent agenda. Are there any additions or corrections to the consent agenda? Seeing none, I would entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Roll call vote, please. Ms. Robinson?
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes, motion passes 6-0. We're off to a flying start. Okay, that brings us to item number 5. Public comments.
Good evening, Dr. Geddes, Dr. Ashton, School Board. My name is Alyssa Staley, and I teach English at DHS. And I came here tonight to tell you about some of the amazing students we have at DHS. So we have been in my 3 sections of Minority Lit reading the play Fences by August Wilson. For those of you unfamiliar, this is a Pulitzer Prize winning play, and the movie version stars Denzel Washington and Viola Davis. So it's a wonderful play. With this play, the students' engagement and conversations and connections have just been amazing. We've had conversations about what would you do if somebody tries to stop you from achieving your dream, or when, if ever, is it okay to cheat in a relationship? And through those conversations, they've encouraged me to up my game and take it to the next level. So I've included questions that I've posted out in the hall, and students are responding wonderfully. I leave markers out there, and they get their friends who are not even my students to answer these questions. And then, on top of everything else, we're doing Shakespeare, and usually there's moans and groans, right? They don't.
Do you wonder why?
It doesn't really connect with them very well. And so they come in Monday after a long weekend, and as they enter my classroom, I'm throwing costumes at them that I received from my mother, who was an English teacher. And they're so excited, and they're fighting over who gets to play what part. And just to see that excitement and their eyes light up of, oh, I can actually do Shakespeare, and I can understand plays and make connections. And Dr. Geddes, I have to tell you, after talking with these students, I have at least 85% in my head that are planning on going to college next year.
Nice.
And one of them, we had a very special moment where she received received early acceptance and started crying, and we got to celebrate that as a family. So wonderful things are happening
happening in my classroom and at DHS as a whole. And I would like to invite all of you, but especially Pastor Miller, for my next big project. So my next big project is we are doing a poetry unit with Long Way Down by Jason Reynolds. And at the end of it, on December 12th, we are going to have a panelist of pastors, counselors, and other community members answering questions that the students are going to prepare ahead of time about de-escalation and trauma-informed decision-making and things like that. And so if you would care to join us as a panel member, we would love to have you, and anyone else that wants to observe, we would welcome you. Yeah, it'll be wonderful. So I'm really excited about it. I didn't do this last year, but again, they're encouraging me to up my game, so I'm trying new things, and we'll see how that works. But I want to thank you for the opportunity to speak, and invite you to come see what's going on at DHS, because we've got some good things going on. Thank you.
Good job.
Good evening. I am a DHS student, and I have come to brighten the light on a situation that is not really sitting well with a lot of students. And it does have to do with the clear book bags and the lockers and trying to get to class on time, which is not really working the best in the students' favor. If you've been to DHS, you can see the hallways. They're very, very crazy. And for the students who actually are caring like me and trying to make it to class on time, it is very hard to make it to class on time when there's so much chaos going on, but not being able to have some form of like book bag, I would say, is really, really, really hard for a lot of us. So I was asking for some type of simple solution. I don't know any solutions, but I feel like we need some type of solution so we won't be going through the issues that we're going through now, per se. So I know it's not in you guys' control when the book bags will get here. I know it's not necessarily our district's control whether we or not we have clear book bags, but I would like for somebody to advocate for us to let everybody know like it is not working as much as we thought that it would work. So that's all I have to say, and thank you for your time.
Wait a minute.
Wait.
Wait, and I know we're not supposed to, but wait a minute, I'm confused. You're saying you don't have a book bag?
Yeah, my book bag has broke, and then I also received a small book bag from the health clinic, and that book bag has also broke because I am a junior this year, and I have many books, and I have a Chromebook, and I have a water bottle, and I bring snacks because I am not too fond of the food there. So it's really not working out for me and a lot of other students.
Okay, I was just trying to get an understanding. I can't hear real well, and I was just trying to make sure I understood what you were saying.
And so you're saying that new book bags, even available for purchase, we haven't arrived yet?
They have not arrived because, things are still kind of messed up due to COVID. So the book bags have not arrived yet, but I feel like while we're waiting on the book bags to arrive, we need some type of like solution because, back in the day we did, like a lot of people did used to be able to carry their books, but it is a hard, like, I would say transition from going from carrying book bags and always being able to carry a book bag to then like, oh, wait, now I have to put everything in my locker and then making it to my locker on time and then making it back to class on time with the hectic hallways. So that's all I really have to say. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you for your comments. Item number 6.
Principal recommendation.
Thank you.
So, good evening, everyone. Today I have for you, we all are aware that Miss Cherry is retiring and leaving us. And most people don't know that Miss Cherry was actually supposed to retire in 2020, June 2020. And she decided she wasn't going to leave us in the midst of the pandemic, and she stayed with us. But then now here we are. with her retiring at the end of the year, and we must find a replacement. And I do appreciate that it's the Board of Education's desire to educate and promote from within. It is my recommendation that we continue that tradition. And this evening, I have a person who was born and raised in Springfield, Illinois. They are a 2003 graduate of Springfield Southeast High School. They've graduated with a bachelor's degree in history and a minor in secondary education from the U of I. Graduated with a master's degree in, as we call it, EPOL, Education Policy, Organization, and Leadership from the U of I in 2012. Be nice if they do the doctorate in the same, but I'm just advocating now. They began working. Did I get that in there really smoothly? Okay, thank you. Began work, and I say that for all of my administrators. I've pushed for that program. This person has begun working at Danville High School and teaching U.S. history and world geography in 2007 and 2008. They've taught from 2007 to 2013 at DHS, and they've been the DHS principal from 2013 to 2014. I present for you for your consideration this evening Mr. Jacob Bretz as our new principal for the FY24 school year, which is the 23-24 school year. For your consideration.
We have to vote.
Mm-hmm.
Hang on, we got to vote. It's a tough group up here, so let's find out. Would anyone like to make a motion for that?
I move to approve.
Second.
Well, they're all rushing, so I think it's good for you. So, all right. Any comments or questions? Seeing none. Roll call vote, please.
Mrs. Terry?
What about this?
Of course, yes.
Elder Park?
Yes.
Pastor Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Powers?
Enthusiastically, yes.
Mr. Easton?
Yes.
Dr. Ashton?
Yes. Motion passes 6-0. Now, congratulations. Nice resume.
Miss Cherry, would you like to say something? And then Mr. Bretz, would you like to say something?
You don't have to, but you should. Just saying.
Wow, I wasn't really prepared for this, but I always have something to say, and so that works out really well. Actually, I was at Danville High School when Jake was hired. I was one of the people that hired Jacob when I was there as an assistant principal, and so I'm really excited that our students will be able to continue with someone that shares the same philosophy and ideas that I have as far as Danville High School and what it means to really truly be a Viking and to have that pride, that sense of pride that we are working hard to instill in our students. And the importance of them knowing that safety is our number one priority, and with all the things going on, clear backpacks make it a little bit easier for us to get students in a timely manner. And actually, Dr. Jacoby delivered some really nice, sturdy ones today that we can look at. They're a little more expensive, but I shared that with our student advisory board today. As we discuss those things, and I welcome our students that are here tonight to come and join us because we love the input, and that is one of the things that we discussed today and how important that is for the safety of all our students. And so back to Jacob, I'm really thrilled that he will take over, and I know he's going to do great things, and I'm sure our staff is smiling at home right now. And I just appreciate the last 4 years and having the opportunity to come back to DHS and work with the wonderful group of APs that I've worked with, DeMarco and Scott. And it's been unbelievable. And I kind of like being the only girl this year, but it's a little bit different. But we're making it work, and so I wish him the best of luck. And I always support the high school. It's very near and dear to my heart, and all the other schools in the district, because I've been in quite a few of them in my 40-plus year career, and so I'm really proud of him and the rest of the APs there. So I'll turn it over to Jake.
Wow. So I was hoping you weren't going to ask me to talk, but I came prepared just in case. I really just want to start by saying thank you. I'm extremely grateful for the trust that Ms. Cherry, Dr. Geddes, the board has placed in me. People who have for years believed in me, probably more than I believed in myself. So I never dreamed that I would actually be in this position. As the gravity of what was going to happen tonight set in this morning, I actually decided I needed to listen to Oprah on the way to work, because Oprah has a way of telling you what you need to hear at the right time. And she didn't miss, as usual. And right from the open in the podcast I was listening to, she said, "The divine force at work within all of us has a bigger dream for you than you could ever imagine for yourself. Success comes when you surrender to that dream and allow it to lead you to the next best place." So as I think about what's coming ahead, I'm equal parts excited and terrified, I'll be honest. But every time a moment of fear comes, a stronger moment of excitement follows it. And I think those of you who know me best know that I'm not saying this to really talk about myself, but talking to our students and to my colleagues. And so, again, I just want to say thank you to this community, to this district. I have been showing up for Danville High School for 16 years now, and I will continue to do so. So thank you.
Nice.
Well, that was pretty good for not wanting to say anything. Yeah.
Ready.
Yeah, that was really good. Oprah?
Super soul conversation.
Yeah.
Check it out.
I'm going to Oprah from now on. I never thought about Oprah, but that's awesome. Well, this is great. So congratulations. We look forward to. Thank you, Ms. Cherry, and we look forward to many more years at Danville High School. So this is awesome. So appreciate that very much. That brings us to number 7. One of our other famous and fun things is a DHS Wall of Fame.
Mr. Bases.
Congratulations, Mr. Bretz. We're happy to have you on board. You've been here for a while, but remember the day you were hired and we took you to lunch. It was a good day. We scared them, but we scared them to stay. So that was the good news. I don't know. Good evening, Dr. Geddes, Board of Education, Mark Bases. I'm here today to discuss the DHS Wall of Fame. I sit as the chairperson of the Wall of Fame committee, and I'm going to talk about our inductees here today. Before I do that, first I'd like to thank the committee for their time, for their efforts. Reading through all the packets, the material that we get is pretty lengthy. We have good quality discussions, and then ultimately we have to vote and make a decision on many qualified candidates, and the committee did a fine job as always. Thank you to Amy Eisenhower, who does all the work behind the scenes for the committee. A lot of the thankless work, she organizes it, gets the packets ready for us, and she's about to have a lot more work helping plan the induction ceremony. So appreciate her efforts. And finally, thanks to all the members of the community, former graduates that submit applications each and every year. It's a lengthy process. It's a lot of work. And without them, we wouldn't have this incredible wall of fame that we do at Danville High School. We like to continue to have more and more people nominated. We'd like to have the community continue to nominate people that they think are deserving of this award. And we look forward to each and every year of reading through that. And it's always inspiring to read all the literature about all of our graduates each and every year. And today I walked the halls, I stopped and refreshed my memory with the names on the list, and I was amazed at the diversity of the wall and the diversity of the talents of the people on the wall. It always strikes my heart, or it touches my soul, and it makes me proud to be a staff member at Danville High School and District 118 for the last 27 years. And it's knowing that that's the environment that we create, everybody in this room that creates for our students at Danville High School and Danville District 118, that allows our student bodies to go out and accomplish their life's work and succeed at the local level, the state level, the national level, and the international level. And so it's always like a good moment for me and for all of us to remember that the work we do is sometimes not seen directly. We don't get to see the end result until I'm standing here nominating a couple of our graduates. So tonight I'm going to announce the 58th and 59th member of the DHS Wall of Fame, and I'll start with our 58th inductee, Lieutenant Colonel Dennis Fay. Lieutenant Colonel graduated from Danville High School in 1969. He earned a bachelor's degree from the United States Air Force Academy, and later a master's degree from the University of Texas A&M Commerce. Lieutenant Colonel Fay began his military career at undergraduate pilot training. He was given the Commander's Superior Flying Performance Award for excellence in airmanship. He went on to fly as a KC-135A tanker pilot. Now, I had to do some research because military talk is pretty technical, so I'm now well-versed on planes. KC-135A tankers are the big, huge jets that refuel planes in the air. If they got the long tail that sticks out, and you can picture that. So he starts there as a tanker pilot, where he received two of the highest recognitions as a distinguished graduate in flight qualification training. He flew many missions. I'm guessing some of them were top secret, of refueling fighters and jets as they were flying missions. He worked for the Global Task Force operations. Lieutenant Colonel Fay was handpicked to become the aircraft commander for a newly formed elite KC-10A squadron in 1982. It's a wider-bodied version of the same plane. Lieutenant Colonel Fay was then asked to become the chief of the KC-10 operations for the Director of Operations Training Division. He coordinated and assisted in directing all KC-10 operations for the entire Pacific Fleet Division. Some of his accomplishments along the way include operational planning for tanker air refueling support for the B-1B bomber's first world record flight. That's another large plane, and it replaced the B-52, if I remember right, and set a lot of world records. It's a high tactical, highly powerful bombing machine. So he assisted with that, the many world record flights that it had. He aided in the establishment of the integration of the KC-10 into the SR-71 Blackbird air refueling support operations. That's another supersonic jet, the SC-70 or SR-71. It's black. I remember it as a kid, and then I saw it today, and I was like, I know this one. And it flew cross country in an hour, 3,000 miles in nearly just over an hour. So this thing refueling all the time on its missions was pretty vital. Even with all of Lieutenant Colonel's achievements throughout his illustrious military career, none were more rewarding or satisfying than his selection by the Office of the United States Air Force Vice Chief of Staff as Air Force One's Presidential Advanced Agent from 1988 to 1994. Lieutenant Colonel Fay worked and coordinated directly with Air Force One and Air Force Two pilots, the White House Military Office, the U.S. Secret Service, and the White House Communications Agencies, and the Presidential and Vice Presidential Advanced Staffs. The culmination of his efforts, he was recognized, nominated, and selected in 1991 by Air Force One pilots as the Presidential Advanced Agent of the Year. Shortly after he retired from his military career, he continued to teach and pass on his life lessons to younger pilots for 17 years as a flight instructor. He has always had a passion of being a pilot's pilot. We are honored to have United States Air Force Lieutenant Colonel Dennis Fay as the 58th member of the DHS Wall of Fame. He currently lives in Indiana, just north of Indianapolis, and will be joining us in May for the induction ceremony. Our 59th inductee is Dr. Kimberly Kidwell. Dr. Kidwell graduated from Danville High School in 1981. She was valedictorian of her class and a member of the DHS girls basketball team. After graduation, Dr. Kidwell went to the University of Illinois, where she wanted to become a sports broadcaster. Can't fault her for that one. However, an inspirational professor changed her course of study, and she earned a BS in genetics and development in 1985, a BS in agricultural science in 1986, and then Dr. Kidwell went to the University of Wisconsin and earned a master's degree in plant breeding and genetics in 1989 and her PhD in 1992. From 1994 until 2016, at Washington State University, she was a professor of crop sciences. Dr. Kidwell became Washington State's first female full-time professor. She also was executive dean of the College of Agricultural, Human, and Natural Sciences and the founding director of the Center for Transformational Learning and Leadership. Her groundbreaking work in wheat genetics has resulted in her introduction of several spring wheat varieties in which she had a major impact on Washington State agriculture. I learned a little bit about wheat, too, along the way. There's spring wheat and winter wheat. I didn't know that until recently. Her life's work has been dedicated to creating a safe and ample food supply and a desire to help feed the world. In 2016, Dr. Kidwell was named the first female dean of the College of Agriculture, Consumer, and Environmental Sciences at the University of Illinois and served in that role until 2021. In 2021, Dr. Kidwell was named the first Associate Chancellor for Strategic Partnership and Initiatives for the University of Illinois. In this role, her priorities include the development of new public-private partnerships and a data-driven agriculture and the establishment of a more robust state support network for rural health and nutrition. While having a highly awarded and impressive resume, her accomplishments are only surpassed by her kindness and commitment to others. Her friends and colleagues are often impressed with her ability to relate to everyone, saying that she has the rare talent of making every person she meets feel mattered and seen. In a maroon and white interview, Dr. Kidwell said the most important thing she learned while at DHS was to dare to dream and that I could do extraordinary things. Well, she certainly went off and did so. And we are honored to have Dr. Kimberly Kidwell become the 59th member of the DHS Wall of Fame. She also will be attending in May. We're currently coordinating the date with their schedules, some of the construction at Danville High School, and trying to find a location for the induction ceremony. Once that's announced, I'll let everybody know, and of course, everybody is invited. And that's all I have. If you have any questions, I'm here.
No comment, though. Thanks to the committee. That is an arduous task. A lot of work gets done, and they always come up. Obviously, they must have great applicants, and they come up with these great people. It's hard to believe that there's someone in that class right now at DHS who 30 years from now will be on the wall that we don't. They're just walking around the halls down there.
There's Vikings everywhere. I tell everybody, there's Vikings everywhere.
Yeah, but I mean, these are unbelievably talented people. So
For sure.
That's great. So, but thanks to you and to the group that did that.
It's the committee's work. Thank you, though.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Okay. Let's get back to number 8. Our Northridge Middle School safety plan.
Or I can get up too. We'll do the two up. Ms. Brooks presented to the board at the last board meeting the safety plan to the board, items and issues and things that Northridge felt strongly that they needed. The board gave feedback at that meeting saying that she needed to add wands. So the memo that you have in front of you reflects the second reading of that plan. It is updated. It has an updated cost. And again, the cost increase was just 6 wands. And so it is recommended that the board accept Northridge's safety plan.
And those 6 wands were only $185 for a total of $1,110.
Thank
the
you.
additional cost.
So we didn't add that much to it.
I highlighted it in yellow to make it easy.
So moved. Second.
Great. We have a motion for approval of this, and I'm looking for the total figure of $117,131.50. Right? That's the cost of this motion, which is safety. This is the recommendation of the safety plan of Northridge. Any questions or comments?
The only question I had was how soon would it be implemented?
Essentially, as soon as you approve it, we'll put the POs in, but as with anything, Mr. Oldfield, I don't think he's here tonight, he's not here tonight. I believe DHS is, because obviously the weapons detections are the bigger items that, you'd want to put in immediately, but it's usually 3 to 4 weeks. So, I mean, as soon as it's approved, we'll start cutting the POs to order the equipment, and then an implementation, and obviously you'll need a communication to parents, to students of these things being implemented and what the expectations are.
Okay, thank you.
I'm just gonna, as an editorial note, just take a moment. With our school board meeting coming up, I'm sure you saw last year, we went to several. I mean, safety was huge, okay, and it wasn't the first year. I mean, it's growing, it's getting huge, it's getting more huge, okay, it's getting bigger, and the concern and the plans and the experts and all sorts of things that are being recommended. And at first, when this came up several years ago, I went, oh yeah, but look, we're doing what everybody else is doing. Okay, we're kind of for those that think, oh wow, you're getting crazy on security. No, this is kind of standard for the Big 12 and for the other area schools, and so we need to take care of these things, and so that's kudos to everybody involved in putting these plans together and putting the execution of the plan of getting it done. So. Look forward to see what our vote is for 100 and whatever it was, 100 and
$17,131.50.
wait, that's for the record. Roll call vote, please.
Elder Park,
Yes.
Mr. Easton,
Yes.
Mrs. Collins,
Yes.
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 Yes, motion passes 6-0. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, that should bring us to item number 9, buildings and grounds. Northridge. I thought we just did those buildings. Yeah.
Don't comment.
Don't go down that hole.
Good evening,
Yeah.
Dr. Geddes, board. I'm here tonight to ask the board's permission to accept a bid from Reliable Plumbing and Heating for the HVAC upgrades at Northridge. We received 4 bids. They were from Reliable Plumbing and Heating, Davis Houck Mechanical, United Mechanical Group, A&R Mechanical, and the low bid was Reliable for $2,448,800. So I'm asking the board to approve that this evening.
Okay, you have a recommendation for you for Reliable Plumbing and Heating for Northridge HVAC upgrades. How say you, board?
Recommendation, yes. Motion.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any questions or comments?
I have a question. How long do you think this will last? Using your best judgment.
30 years. Well maintained, 30 years.
That's good. I'm glad you said 30 years. That's because that's a lot of money.
Mhm.
Thank you. I'll just say, if I don't have to talk about this for 10 years, it's well worth the money. Okay, because after we went through all the planning and everything on these renovations and the discussion of and I hate to do it because of the HVAC systems and trying to get guarantees from people that they would work, and they said they would work. I don't understand. So I appreciate your question, Mr. Easton, and I look forward to 30 years from now. If there aren't any other questions or comments, the motion is for $2,448,800 from Reliable Plumbing and Heating is the bid to accept it. Roll call vote, please.
Mrs. Howard?
Yes.
Overpark?
Yes.
Easton?
Yes.
Miller?
Yes.
Beard?
Yes.
Yes, motion passes 6-0.
Thank you.
Thank you. And that'll be done by. Never mind. It was a rhetorical question. Yeah, it doesn't need to be done. Item 10, Crosspoint Adult Program.
Good evening, Board. Dr. Geddes. I'm Molly Bailey, Director of Special Education. And part of what I'm doing this year is thinking outside the box and working to make sure we provide services to all of our students from pre-K to 22 years old, as the state keeps extending it little by little. And part of doing that this year, I've been working with the Life Skills Department at Danville High School to get the students back out in the community since COVID, and trying to just expand the supports that we're able to offer them. So we do have students now that attend WorkSource and work on a daily basis, but I would like to offer another opportunity to them, which is Crosspoint. Crosspoint offers a daily adult program that would teach the students the skills that they need. Pre-vocational, recreation, leisure, arts, music, health, those kind of things. The cost is $16.48 an hour, which is a set state rate. But without a full-time 18 to 22-year-old program, this would help get some of those kids out of the classroom, lessen the needs of the kids in the classrooms, and make those groups smaller. So I'm recommending that that you approve that we're able to spend that cost of $16.48 per hour. Looking at 3 to 5 students, it would be a portion, not likely their whole day. I costed out, even if we set 5 students the rest of the school year, the full time would be about $40,000.
Thank you. You knew that was coming, so. Okay. You have a motion for it doesn't say the 40,000, but for $16.48 an hour, that we would approve expenditure for that for the Crosspoint Adult Program. Thank you.
Second.
Second, I have a motion and a second. Any questions or comments?
When I read this, I just wondered, what are the other things that we're doing? You mentioned it again just now. What are the other things that come to, that we offer besides Crosspoint?
So students go to WorkSource, and then our staff we have the STEP program where students have jobs, and we have job coaches, and then our staff also takes students out in the community. So they do jobs around the school, some of them, or their regular jobs, and then they may go grocery shopping, and then they'll cook whatever they've done. Or we're working on trying to get them a Y membership so they can walk the track, because you can no longer walk the mall in the morning, just so you know. Because we used to have that free option, and that's no longer available. So we just, keep adding things. Everything kind of had to collapse during COVID, and so we're just adding back. And we have worked with the bus garage, so now we have a community bus route every day.
And then the only other question I had was about how many students will benefit from this.
We're looking at 3 to 5.
Okay. Yep.
Who supervises the program?
The Crosspoint employees would supervise it. We would not be sending employees with them.
Right.
To this
Communicating
program.
with you then?
Yes.
Okay.
And Mrs. Frazier, she's our STEP coordinator, so she works mostly with the kids transitioning. So it would be me and her, most likely.
Okay. Roll call vote, please.
Pastor Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Easton?
Yes.
Yes.
Mrs. Howard?
Yes.
Overpark?
Yes.
Dr. Ashton?
Yes, motion passes 6-0.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm very excited about this too. Eventually, I'm going to come to you for a full 18 to 22-year-old program. Can't wait.
Mr. Hart's last year.
I want the full thing.
It's my retirement gift.
I'm going to
Mr.
get it
Hart.
little by little. I'm hoping.
The greenhouse.
10B.
So I know sometimes they come with a little bit of doom and gloom that we've been struggling with staffing, but I want to come up here today to give a shout out to the special education staff because each year we receive an LEA determination from the Illinois State Board of Education. And we just received ours in September, and we received 32 out of 33 points. So we met requirements, and we're in the tier 1 supports, which means we really don't need any supports is what it actually means. They don't send us anyone. But for each of our indicators in special education, we met all of those with all 3 points, except for one, which was a previous audit finding from a couple of years ago. But the thing I'm most, I think, proud about is our graduation rate for students with disabilities. In FY 2020, it was 69.4%, and in FY 21, it was 84.38%. We've been working extremely hard at Danville High School. That special ed department has been revamping, and that's a tribute to Mr. Bretz as well, because Mr. Bretz he's often my first text in the morning. So we've worked really hard to work on that programming, work on getting kids support, that whole team, and just making sure that everything, the kids are getting what they need. So in general, the staff in the district is working very hard to meet all of the deadlines and demands that ISB continues to put on us even through COVID. So I just wanted to highlight that because I think it's a great thing.
Could you share those graduation rates one more time, please?
Yes. So in FY 2020, our graduation rate for students with disabilities was 69.44%. In FY 21, it was 84.38%. And just so you know, the state in FY 21 was 82.6. So we surpassed the state.
Now see there.
Thank you very much.
So I don't have to say, I like your last line.
Right.
Yeah, we might have questions.
Sorry.
I applaud the special education staff
Right.
for their continued efforts to meet all indicator guidelines.
Right. This isn't me. This is all of the staff. They're meeting their indicators. They're working hard. They're getting their paperwork in on time. They're holding their meetings. We've maintained the high standards even through all the things the past few years have brought us. So I'm very proud.
We appreciate it, and it didn't cost us anything. So
That's
thank
right,
you.
nothing.
That was very good. We like that item. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Business. Well, you got business? Transportation.
I do have business, and I have a partner.
Okay. Good thing for you.
Right. Good evening, board. Dr. Geddes. John Hart. I'm the Assistant Superintendent of Elementary Schools, and I'm over transportation. And this is
Narcissus Rankin, Director of Business and Finance. Mr. Hart and I work on transportation together.
Yes, we do. So we are asking your permission tonight to go out for bid to see what's out there in the transportation world. It's a little early to go out for transportation. Typically, we don't go out this early, but we're looking for some competitive bids, and we're hopeful that we'll bring something to you that we can all live with. So again, we're asking your permission to go out.
Okay. I would love to see a motion to put this out for bids. What do you guys say?
Move to approve.
Second.
Thank you.
Any questions or comments? I don't think we need any. Roll call vote, please.
Yes.
Okay.
Is this total district transportation?
Yes, ma'am.
That is correct.
This would be extracurricular and all?
That's correct.
Okay. Yes.
Sorry.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes, motion passes 6-0.
Thank you.
Thank
Good luck. May the force be with you.
And also with
Bring
you.
us good news.
Okay, and oh, look,
Reciprocal
you get to
agreement.
stay up there because it's assistant superintendent time.
It is
12A, intergovernmental agreement with the City of Danville Police, reciprocal reporting of criminal offenses committed by students. Sounds awfully important.
It is awfully important. Thank you, Dr. Ashton. I'm asking your permission today to accept an agreement between District 118 and the City of Danville. This is with the police department, and it's basically to exchange information regarding criminal activity. Again, it really just opens up the line of communication. This is a yearly agreement, so I ask your permission, or for your approval, I should say.
Thank you. Do you have a motion for reciprocal reporting, please?
Motion.
Second.
I have a motion, second. Any questions or comments?
How is our working relationship been? Has this agreement worked in the last few years?
It just worked today.
Okay. Okay.
We have a really good working relationship, ITs, but it did really work today. And the relationship with the Danville Police Department is very good. We have a good relationship with the SROs, with Chief Yates, Commander McCord. I actually spoke to him today, and he wants to work with the district to, I guess, kind of up our game on emergency situations. And, we're not talking about, the bombs in the schools, but everything from medical emergencies to weather emergencies to chemical emergencies. So he's actually asked to meet with the administrator. So Dr. Jacoby and I will be setting that up in the next couple weeks. So our relationship is very good.
Anything else? And this is just a continuation of standard practices we've already been doing.
That is correct.
That's just for the public comment, for the public consumption there. If no other questions or comments, roll call vote, please.
Yes.
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 Yes, motion passes 6-0. 12B.
This again is a reciprocal agreement with the Vermillion County Sheriff's Department, so it's the same situation really. So we exchange information with the County Sheriff's Department. It's typically Southwest, not so much the City of Danville, but it is important that we have that agreement as well, and we do work very well with that department as well.
May I have a motion?
So move.
Thank you.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, roll call vote, please, on Sheriff's Department reciprocal reporting agreement. Thank you.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, motion passes 6-0. 12C.
This is the intergovernmental agreement authorizing police and fire departments emergency access to school security video feeds and radio frequencies. So what this really is in case of an emergency or really even an incident outside of our schools, the one that I can think of most recently is there was a car, I think it was actually a car chase, and it was in the middle of the night, and they called and they said, "You have video of, this chase and outside of our school." We actually did have, so we're able to exchange that video with the police department, just like any other business or municipal. And then the other part with the radio frequencies, basically, if there was something that would happen at our schools, they could go to the high school principal or whomever and use one of their radios, use their radio frequency to communicate within the building. So, again, I ask for your permission or for your approval of this agreement.
So moved.
Thank you. And I have a motion and a second. Any questions or comments? And this is all agreeable with school code, with legalities, and
It is, and that one is actually a 2-year agreement, and every once in a while they'll say, well, we only need to read this every other year, but usually when we're reviewing the other ones, we have them review this, so it's reviewed annually as well.
okay, thank you. Roll call vote, please.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes, motion passes 6-0. That's now to 12D.
Thank you. 12D is the intergovernmental agreement for school resource officers. Again, I ask for your approval. Right now we have 3 school resource officers. We have 1.5, and that looks strange at Danville High School. Just kidding. Half the day is spent at Bailey Academy, and then we have a full day at Northridge. So we would like to continue that relationship with the Danville Police Department and our SROs. There have been no changes in probably the last 7 or 8 years, except for the addition of body-worn cameras, which we approved last year. So still relatively new, but still part of that agreement. So I wanted to make sure that you were aware of that. Typically, the cost is the salary and benefits for an entire school year, and this is an increased cost that because of the way vacations play out, and a lot of times they're taken during the summer, so a lot of the officers aren't available to work during the summer, so there is an increase of this will be 75% instead of the 180 days. So I wanted to make you aware of that.
We actually changed the pricing structure to kind of find
Correct.
a middle ground between what the needs of the Danville Police Department were and what we could accommodate here. I know Chief Yates was looking for a figure, and it was simply easier for us to split it 75-25. That way, no matter what was happening with their days, etc., they could expect a certain percentage
or what
of
have you,
that officer's salary. And so that is the biggest change that we're asking for you in this agreement. It differs from the 4 years prior.
Thank you, Dr. Geddes.
So moved. Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any questions or comments?
When I was reading it, I I like that there's special training for schools.
There is.
Police officer training is good enough, but I liked that it was more
Bailey,
than just that.
Mrs. Bailey likes it even more than you do.
It
and
was good to
actually,
see.
that is new to this agreement, so
Mhm.
I do have to take that back, because if a child is restrained by a police officer in a school, that police officer, that school resource officer does have to be trained and handle with care, so that training will take place immediately. It's not something that we have done in the past. And if it happens and somebody's not trained, ISB frowns upon that. And if we have an agreement basically that if anybody would be handcuffed in school, that's considered a mechanical restraint unless they are arrested. So those things have changed. So again,
I think it's a good change.
I agree.
I'll ask then, since you brought it up about the percentages, is there a financial impact to this? And if there is,
So what we expect, the cost differential was somewhere about under 10 grand total to us. Unless we get another officer, and then, we'll come back and have a different conversation, because it would be great to have all of them,
okay, so it won't exceed $10,000.
about 10 grand.
Okay, so with that in mind, as we approve this motion, okay, thank you very much.
Does the agreement allow for us, Dr. Geddes, to add another officer easily if the board were to decide that later, or not?
Not because in this one, it's written for a certain number, but I'm sure if they become flush with officers, they would be welcome the opportunity to share them with us, and they would have the training, because
They
that's
would
the
have to be trained.
main-
That's correct.
Because I think we do need more than we have.
We do.
For the record.
That conversation for another day, when the day will come, okay, and probably soon. Okay, but before you is 12D intergovernmental agreement for school resource officer. If there are any other questions or comments, roll call vote, please, Ms. Robinson.
Yes.
Mrs. Howard,
Yes.
Mr.
Yes.
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 Yes, motion passes 6-0. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Informational items, number 13, your lucky number.
So, I'm gonna do this one first. So I believe I've addressed most of the questions for Mrs. Peugeot, and there's been a new interest in Miss Rankin now. I'm starting to receive information, so I'm going to address it publicly so that maybe we can answer the questions. And it's specifically about Miss Rankin's tuition that was paid back in 2019. The Board of Education, and you know me, I'll put it all on the website, actually started providing tuition under my leadership on 17-18 when Miss Molly Stannis went back to school so that she could be the now Director of Special Ed. What the Board of Education did, we made salary adjustments. If we were paying tuition, you didn't get a raise, you got a 1%, etc. And it started with this spreadsheet right here that was sent to Miss Heather Smith at the time, and it outlined it. We then continued that practice for Miss Rankin, and the person has asked for copies of her bills because somewhere there's this allegation that I did this without board approval. So, however, you will see in June 11th, 2018, on page 17 of the payables, we paid her tuition to the Illinois ASBO Association. And then on 10/24/2018, we paid it again. I started noticing that we weren't including her name. So to make sure the board was aware for whom that tuition was being paid, I added her name, and you can see it on September 9th of 2019. And I did it one other time. These will all be on the website, along with the initial statement where we did it for Molly. It is our practice that when we have people who can go back to school and get the education that would help this district, the Board of Education has been in support of that. I would hate for anyone to suggest that I did that without the knowledge of the Board of Education, and know that anytime we, as a part of the consent agenda, approve the payables, all that information is listed, which means the board is blessing it. Thank you. Moving on, want to say thank you to the Board of Education, who is going to allow us to thank you, Ms. Cherry, for this great idea. We're going to reach back to all of our students who have graduated since 2020 under Ms. Cherry's leadership, and any child in education. We're going to go back and offer the same Grow Your Own program that we have. So it's going to take me a minute, but we're going to go back and find all those babies and try to get them committed to District 118, and we will pay that tuition. So thank you for the idea, Ms. Cherry, and the board. So I'll bring it back officially next time, but I want you to know it's on it because I know I have babies coming home for break, and I want to catch them while they're here. So kudos to you. That is coming. That was informational. Can I do comments?
Yes.
Okay, great. So on Saturday, November 12th, 3 Danville High School band students, Christopher Lane, Laney DeVores, and Cameron Gerard, participated in the ILMEA District 3 Senior Band at Olivet Nazarene University. They were selected based on their audition, and that was submitted back in October. They had a wonderful day working with Professor Alex Kaminsky from Vandercook College of Music. So congratulations to our 3 students on being selected for this great opportunity.
Can you say their names again?
Did I miss? Because he has something else, right? Something different that wasn't this. Did I miss your baby?
No.
Okay, great.
No.
Okay.
What were their names again?
Christopher Lane, Laney DeVores, and Cameron Gerard.
Okay.
Yep. Many of our elementary students had the opportunities to go and visit the Festival of Trees. We want you to know that they enjoyed it immensely and appreciated the opportunity. Several KDBA middle school students took time out of their day to volunteer for the Festival of Trees, and they appreciated being the big kids. And I know, I didn't see Bessie, they're actually going to be readers at DAC coming tomorrow. And so they're feeling like, the big kids of the block. And I really just love seeing them light up about that. Several of our holiday programs will start right after Thanksgiving, and our board meeting isn't until the 14th, so please check the calendar. It will be on the website so that you can confirm the dates and times for your school's program. After all of that, I just wanted to say congratulations again to Mr. Bretz. We have been working on him for a while, and another one, I have a group of them that I'm pushing. I would love to see in that admin cohort. Yes, I'm going to call you out, Lisa Brooks and Jacob Bretz and Mark DeMarco, right? In fact, almost every administrator here, I believe District 118 should have its own cohort in the my own degree. EPOL, Education Policy Organization and Leadership Department of the University of Illinois. I would love to go to say, look, I have these people, the district has committed, and we could have our own leadership cohort right here with all of you getting your doctorates. That sounds like a great idea. That's all I have. Yay, Bretts, because I've been pushing him for a minute.
That would be good. Doctors.
Mm-hmm.
More doctors, the better. I agree. More doctors, the better.
I agree.
I would say, we went right to left before. Let's go left to right this evening. Elder Parks?
Okay. Thank you, Dr. I want to again say to Miss Molly Bailey, I thank you and your staff for the work that you guys tirelessly have put in, so we can agree with this recommendation. And so I say to God be the glory for how He has used you and your staff. And to Miss Cherry, I haven't been on the board that long, but I do know this much: you've worked tirelessly at that high school, and you are going to be greatly missed there at the high school. So thank God that there are other plans and works for you, and so we praise God for that. And to Mr. Jacob Bretz, welcome. And we again listen, with each plateau, there's much work to be done, and so I'm sure, based on what Dr. Geddes has shared with us on this evening, that you are the individual for the job. So we applaud you for accepting that position. And I'm sure that if there's anything that this board can do to make your job easier, we're going to do our best to get that done. So I thank you for accepting that position. And that young lady that came up here to appear before us, I thank you for sharing with us your concerns. And so we take it to heart. And so God bless you for taking that opportunity and the time to come and to share with us here this evening. And to all of you administrators and you teachers, your job is not an easy. I wouldn't be a teacher for nothing. But I applaud you for, because that's not my calling. Let me say that. That's not my calling. That's not my calling. That's not my calling. That's not my calling. I've answered my calling. Okay. So you, yeah. Yeah, I do that too. But I thank you all for all the work that you do, because I know it is not an easy job. But you're called for such a time as this. So you continue doing the work. And so God bless each and every one of you for the work you do for the students here in District 118. So God bless you.
Just like to also congratulate Mr. Bretz and hope to see you up in the school as I make my rounds from time to time, and just encourage you that you are selected because you're qualified. So you may have that moment of terror. Remember, you'll be okay. And then Miss Cherry, I'm sure, will continue to do whatever she can to encourage you and to coach you along. Thank you, Mrs. Cherry, for all of your years of service in the district and sticking through COVID. That was critical, that we needed your services, and you stepped up, so we thank you for that. For the other teacher that invited me to come and be a part of the panel, thank you for the invite. I'll do my best to be there if I can answer some of the questions for our students, I will do my best to do that also. Again, all of you, teachers, administrators, thank you for your service, and we will continue together make our district great. We've already have proven a lot of people wrong. The negative attitude or the negative perception about our city and about our schools. And we are trending ahead, and we are having more and more success stories. And I really like Dr. Geddes to grow your own program. We know with all of the shortages of teachers around the country, and we have young people that are interested to continue with their education and then commit to our district. I think this is just a win-win. So again, just thank everybody. And we won't see you before Thanksgiving. So we're going to wish you all a wonderful Thanksgiving, and everybody be safe. Thank you.
Also to the teacher who presented to us what she was doing in her class and upping her game. What an inspiration. What an inspiration she is as a teacher, and we have so many like her. And to share with us the enthusiasm of the students, what great kids we have. And it was so good to hear from her. I also thank you, young lady, for coming to us with concerns. It takes a lot of courage to do that. We don't know those things if people don't tell us those things. So thank you for doing that. And lastly, before that, Ms. Bailey, your staff, kudos to your staff. Good deal. I volunteered at the Festival of Trees this week, and I think I saw a group of those high school people there, and they were enthusiastic and they loved it. In addition to that, I saw the KDBA kids. They were every bit as professional as all our other volunteers. They took their job seriously, and they made us proud as Danville High School. It was so good to see them there. Now, lastly, Mr. Bretz, known you since I was still working at the high school when you were there. I saw in you from the very beginning some real leadership and such dedication to the school, to the students. I couldn't be happier that you're taking the helm. So again, I echo, we'll give you all the support we can to help with your success. I'll check on your mental well-being often, but thank you for taking this and rising to the occasion. You're well fitted for it.
Thank you. Johnny?
I'd like to first say thank you to Southwest for your reading night. Ladies and gentlemen, you missed a treat. I was so excited. It was supposed to be for my grandchildren, but I think I was more excited than they were. These teachers did a phenomenal job with the stories that they did and dressing up. I told them they should take it on the road. It was phenomenal. It was. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the stories. I ate the popcorn. But so I just want to say kudos to Southwest. Mark Denman for your spooktacular. It too was phenomenal. The stories moving around the building, it was really great. And I called to get permission to bring my grandchildren with me as I went, and they were just so excited to go. So it really was a great opportunity, and I just want those teachers to know you did a phenomenal job, and it was really great. To the DHS teacher that came from the English department, thank you, thank you, thank you. Because we need to, the public needs to know that there are great things that are happening in our schools and that our kids are excited about learning. They aren't just brought in there and say, okay, sit down, this is the way we do it. I am so glad that she indicated that they're pushing her to up her game. So it does. And Pastor Elder Parks?
Yes, ma'am.
I was a 35-year teacher. I just want you to know, you're right. What they do now is totally different even when I was there. And I applaud them every time I go into a building. And like I told someone before, every morning when I get up, I pray for each one of you because I know what you are going in and facing. So I appreciate you every day. I think that you are the best of the best. I love this district. I came here and knew no one in Danville, but made it home. And so it is great. For the young lady about the book bags, I just want you to know, I've been with Miss Cherry going to look for them book bags. We were all up in Chicago trying to find y'all some book bags. So it's not like they're not looking. I understand. Thank you for coming and letting us know. But believe it, we are. She's been looking for them book bags. Cause I'm like, again, Tracy. So yeah, she knows. And thank you for coming and having the courage to tell us that you feel like it's a strain. So yeah, thank you. Thank you. It did take courage. And last but not least, Mr. Brett. Congratulations. It is my honor to be able to cast a vote to say, welcome to the next step. And Dr. Geddes, I know about that doctoral program. I agree with you. Because I did mine at the University of Illinois. So, yeah.
So I can go get them. Go get them. Okay.
Okay.
See y'all tomorrow.
Of course, congratulations, Mr. Bretz. Yes, look forward to seeing you do great things for our district, for our kids. I just wanted to say I was at the Festival of Trees this week, and I saw a lot of District 118 kids and families. And I think our parents and our teachers are doing a great job, and I'll tell you why. I won't tell you which tree I was at, but on a tree, and I bid on it, but I was very cheap because I'm not independently wealthy, and I was like one of the first ones. I think I bid $5. Sorry if it looked like I was cheap. I think I bid $5 on like 5 trees. So, just trying to prime the pump. And I did go back, and it was way too rich for my blood, so that's good. I was glad they got good money. On one of the ornaments, and this is how I know our parents and our teachers and our kids, our students, are doing exactly what we hope for as a board and what we hope for as a community. The Christmas ornament wishing for a gift that everyone would feel that they are pretty. And I just thought that was the things they wanted for Christmas, the Christmas wish that they had. I just thought, that's real good. That's all I wanted to say. I just think parents, you are doing a good job with your kids, and teachers, you're doing great. So thank you.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Okay, I forgot one thing. We had music students, orchestra, band, and choral students that took their own time on Sunday afternoon for the Veterans Concert. And they weren't part of the concert because it was the jazz band ambassadors from the U.S. Army. And they were wonderful. It was a great concert. But these kids gave up their time to perform for people as they were coming in. And what a great thing that they did. And they sounded great, and they were great. And I just wanted to say thank you to them and to their directors for giving up their time on a Sunday afternoon to do that.
Yeah, it felt kind of special at DHS for that. You guys all pretty well covered everything. Mr. Bretz, thank you very much. We appreciate that. To the Wall of Fame inductees, if you're watching, which you probably aren't, but if you Google yourselves, it'll be another mention. They are awesome. I mean, you didn't do all of it. There was more in this paper, but what impressive people these guys are from DHS.
Yes.
And people go, oh, DHS, but no, this is what I love. I don't want my kids to go there to DHS, and I'm going, oh, You don't want your kids to be like these people? You don't want them to be this successful? I mean, we've had surgeons, we've had great leaders, we have entertainment people, great that making unbelievable strides in entertainment. Yeah, I want my kids to go to DHS. My kids went to DHS. I hope they're this successful. They're not yet, but I'm hopeful. But so that's my point. Is that what a great district. I know I'm preaching to the choir, but you know the choir needs to be preached to every now and then. So thank you all for doing a great job. And with that, happy Thanksgiving. That's what we started with. I hope you get to eat all of your favorite foods and go into a coma for 3 hours right afterwards, because that's what we're going to do. So with that, we are adjourned. Thank you all.
No, I wouldn't think of it.